Live. We're gonna go live. All right, everybody. Exciting. Welcome to Gypsy Road, Journey into the Unknown. How is everybody this week? How are you over the weekend?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I just want to say I want to thank you very much for that that little voice you oh, what's this? Hold on. I am working, but how about Thursday? No problem, Brian.
No, he's fine. I'm fucking jealous is what I am.
I could come on around this time, but I do have to show a night. Well, if you do, then this is the link. I know. I feel like I'm talking to a computer.
Yeah.
My fault.
Don't sweat. You gotta work. You gotta work, man.
So that was personally, I think that was a fun little documentary, little George Lucas little thing. Kind of, you know, how high is he?
Oh, me?
How high are you? Yeah, how high are you?
It depends on what altitude we're talking about. What are we talking about? Way to fuck up? Way to fuck up there? I'm pretty fucking high. I got glaucoma. I've got depression. I've got the Mandela effect. You got to make sure a little bit, you know, you got to medicate during, remember, I don't take opiates. I don't take anything over the fucking counter. I don't have any chain attached to me in a pharmaceutical. Just me and some fucking pot dealer down the corner, just making a deal down, whatever. I can go anywhere I want in any fucking place. If this place right now were to have a big ass, huge ass tidal wave come in, and we're all stuck on a ship together, and fucking water come up, and everyone had to go do their job, I could do my job because everybody else will be hung over, or they'll be like coming off some narcotic, and they'll be like, God, I gotta have my fix, man.
He was actually he said, I was talking about you, cowboy. So he was talking about me. Well, first of all, I'm kind of happy in a lot of ways because we actually got snow, and I want people to understand that I know, Brian, you're back east. You guys get snow on normal basis. So here in Seattle, when you get even 2-3 inches of snow, we don't have tractors. There's no road machines. There's no salt. And to get to the main road, you got to drive down all these side roads just to get to the main road. So all the schools are canceled today. So all my kids are home. And, of course, my daughter's asking me, can I take her to her friend's house? But I'm like, I got to do a show first. So, all right. Hey, I want to make sure. I want to say your name right. Your real name is Mark, correct?
No, my real name is Mike.
Say that again. Mike?
My real name is Mike, but
yeah. Volume-wise, I could barely hear you.
I'll mute Mike.
Disconnected.
Can you hear me now?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. So I want to ask you.
And I think there was a little bit of an echo.
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you jumping on. I saw your videos, and man, you're from a beautiful country. What country is that exactly?
I live in northern India right now.
Oh, northern India. Is that a do you live there full time? Is that like you visit, or is that like your hometown that you live there? Because I was watching your videos and I see you walking through town. I see how like people take baths and how you get your food. You travel down the mountain and all that. And so yeah. I was curious.
I've been in India and Nepal for 5 years. 5 years I've been here, and but I was born in South Korea.
Wow.
And I grew up in Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Because I'm not gonna say anything, but when I listen to you speak in your town, your English is better than mine.
And I don't know about that, but I developed a little bit of an accent over the years, but I understand English.
You speak it very, very well. You speak it better than I do.
Yeah, better than me too.
I don't know about that.
No, trust
Thank
me,
you.
trust me. Everybody says, "Hey, dude, get off the air. You shouldn't even be talking. Just let your brother talk."
That's fucked up. I speak stupid. I have stupid speak. What they don't understand is Eric was deaf when he was born. Eric was deaf.
Okay.
So he's got a speech impediment from being deaf when he was born. I had eye problems. He had hear no evil, see no evil. Older brother say no evil. He's dead now. But so when Eric talks, it's like everyone's like,
years, right?
yeah, the original. Not there's a fourth now. You guys remember there's a fourth now. There's see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, and you guys remember the other one? There's a new one. That was new to me.
Evil?
Well, it's think no evil.
Oh,
think no.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. It's new to me. You're in Nepal, for God's sake.
That's the only one you need. If you don't think no evil, you don't need to worry about speaking or hearing or seeing. Because if you don't think evil, then none of those other stuff will affect you.
Yeah.
But then you got to define evil. Then you got a whole new fucking balls of wax. You got a whole new set of rules of what's evil. And remember, men determine what's evil. There's a God that determines what's evil. Then there's a man. I'm gonna stick with God's determination of evil because some evil things they call evil isn't that evil, man. You know?
Yeah, evil is a very difficult topic, right? Sometimes we have to murder somebody because we want to defend our
yes.
friend. You want to defend yourself, and maybe that's the only way we have to do it. And an action in itself does not mean whatever. It can be both. It's just about intent behind them, right?
Yeah.
We have to see the bigger picture.
I agree 100%.
Now let's make something clear real quick. I wasn't 100% completely deaf, but I could hear a little bit. So what was happening in school, right? I can hear a tiny bit. So in school, all these teachers thought because they knew my bigger brother, right? They knew what kind of person he was. He was what you call a rebel. So they all teachers assumed that I was the same way. I'm going to be a rebel because I wasn't listening. And nobody realized that I just couldn't hear them. I was literally sent to another school for kids that need help learning. Until one day a nurse examining my ear saying, dude, he's 90% deaf.
Yeah.
So I had to get an operation. And then this was like, I was already 7 or 8.
Yeah. And the doctors told my dad, he says, we have bad news. He's not going to be able to hear. The scarring was so bad, your son's going to be deaf. And our dad was like, really now? Son, are you going to be deaf? And Eric's like, no. He can hear fine. They were like, we don't understand how he's hearing. There's no medical reason why he's hearing at this moment. So ever since then, he's been a miracle. Fucking walk around, he can hear fine.
Well, that's great. That's a great miracle. Hearing is pretty important.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even wonder how am I still walking, because I flew out of a car as a baby, should have died, somehow lived. I got hit by a car coming down a mountain in the mountain snow, knocked me out of my shoes, no broken bones, no nothing. So I haven't had and I had one car ran into me, totaled my whole car, walked out of it like George Lucas in that video yesterday with no scratch, no nothing. So I'm appreciating the 9 lives that somebody up there must have liked.
Yeah.
Maybe because they wanted to do the show or something.
Sure.
I want to hear his death. Now, everyone's got a death story, dude.
Guardian angels looking after us.
Let's hear your death story, man. I mean, you got one. I know you do.
So you're living in India, you said. So that you must have good internet because you're able to get on where we're at. Because it looks like you're on a village. Is it like on top of a hill where you can't travel to a store by car?
I live in an area called Kulu Valley. The name of the province or the state is called Himachal Pradesh. It's north. Very north is Kashmir. You guys heard of Kashmir?
Oh, yeah.
That's absolute North India. I'm the state right below Kashmir. And I live in the Himalayan mountain. So Himalayan mountain is a long range, right? And I live in a hut alone, and I've been here for a little more than a year. And
Wow.
I've been in Nepal and India for 5 years. I mentioned last year I was motorbiking around northern India by myself. So I was camping and staying in caves a lot. So I'm into meditation.
Wow.
So I've been, and then after my journey up north, they call it Little Tibet, where it borders Tibet. But the culture there, they speak Tibetan, and the people look Tibetan. So it's very much Buddhist tradition there. So after I came from there, and these are mountains that are 3,500 meters and above, you know, when you're biking.
Wow.
Okay, they're very high. They're like 10,000 feet mountains and above, right? Where I'm living at now is about 2,250 meters. This hut is 2,250, so that's what, 7,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
So is it something like you chose, or like is you up there for some kind of work reason, or you chose to live there?
Yeah, I'm not really working at the moment. I'm kind of working on myself. I'm living off my savings. If you would like to know in detail, you know, it's just what it is. I'm just here to at the moment develop myself, you know, and work on myself. So right now I spend probably a couple hours a day just chopping wood, just because I need it's freezing, and I only have an oven to put wood in to keep myself warm. But you know, I like to paint. I like to play flute. I do a little bit of martial arts. So I have like how would I say, like
That's awesome.
You know,
I'm kind
into
of
fencing.
I guess you could say I'm kind of working on myself in a way. I was laid off from my work. Well, not by choice, like 5 months ago. But in one weird way,
being laid off is never a choice, is it?
It's never a choice. Even though I won this company awards and all that, at the end of the day, you're just a number. But the good thing out of it is I finally, like you kind of say, you kind of by yourself, you kind of discover yourself, and I'm able to do like shows like this with my brother who lives in Manchester, UK. It's like like since he lives in Manchester, UK, I live in Seattle, Washington. It's kind of a way that we're telephone each other in a way, but we're just doing live for everybody. So it's kind of it's kind of fun. But I'm going to tell you guys something. Over the weekend, there's this I'm sorry. There's another YouTube channel, right? This YouTube channel is called True Love.
Oh boy.
Okay.
They're called True Love, and they're doing a show on false memories, right? So basically, the show was just kind of bashing, you know, Mandela effect. People are this and this and this, and I go on there very nicely and said, you know, you should always have an open mind. You should not bash something you don't understand. You should have an open mind and ask questions. And of course, they're all like bashing me, you know, and I'm like, first of all, how do you call yourself a channel True Love when all you were doing is spreading hate? I'm seriously, I don't get it. Like this channel, Gypsy Road, Journey into the Unknown. I want to talk to everybody, not just the Mandela effect, ghosts, UFOs, whatever. I want to learn. Like, you're from this country. I wanted to learn it. So this show's about everything. That's what it represents. But how do you call yourself True Love? And when you try to ask them to open their minds and all they do is bash you, I just don't get it.
Yeah. I'm debunking the Mandela effect, so fuck it.
Review about what love is, right?
Yeah, we go back to murder again. We go back to what's evil. It's the same. Like you probably go back to the same story about what's love. We can do the same, exactly how you put it, where some things are acceptable, some things are a certain way, in philosophical ways of what's acceptable. Same thing with love. You got to ask yourself, it's the same kind of spin. You know, what do they consider love? You know, so, you love a snake, it's going to kill you. I don't know.
I'm no expert on love. I've been in a lot of relationships, and no, I'm not married, or I don't have any kids. I'm not sure if I'm the right guy to ask about love. That's for sure.
Well, I wasn't asking people about stuff. I was just saying, how do you call yourself a channel like that, and you're not open to everybody else's? But you on your journey in India and stuff, where did the Mandela effect come into effect for you? You know, going to communities, listening, and I saw you some shows. You're a wonderful speaker. What's the Mandela effect to you on this journey?
Well, I just want to explain myself a little bit. I woke up to flat Earth like 5 years, moved to Nepal, and then I've only woke up to Mandela effect about little more than a year ago, November of 2018, when I woke up to Mandela effect. Okay, also blew my mind. I think it blows everybody's mind when they first discover about the Mandela effect, because we think in a very linear way, in a very like from past, present to future. But what Mandela effect is telling us is that past can be changed, or we may be shifting into something, and I don't think anybody knows what's going on, but we know and we can agree that something is going on.
Yep. Correct. Yeah.
And
absolutely
so,
correct.
Me, it's another way to see reality, another way of reality that it's a kind of clue. It's a kind of message in a way. And I think it's not meant for everybody to be woken up to be honest. It's kind of like on the road to enlightenment in a way, because like shut themselves off. I think we all have shifted, but majority of people, they just deny the shift. That's all,
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, I see that too. Anthropology, everybody has a memory. Everybody I talk to, I hear the people, oh, I've got the Mandela effect. You got shit. I even got a theory on the whole Mandela effect thing. I've actually been figuring out, everyone's on a spiritual journey, and mine is like debunking certain things, even though I haven't. I mean, it's a big difference. I do see the changes like yourself. And working in an aerospace museum for years and knowing the earth was round and seeing all these things, all of a sudden in 2016, I got my face slapped because the math don't add up no more. Like you said, it's what the fuck happened? This is not my home. This is not what happened to my home? And all of a sudden, the math is leaning the other direction, on your side, that is. And I'm like, I debunk. So I went out to debunk flat earth. I had to debunk it. And there's too much evidence. It's slapping me in the face. And so I'm playing with it. And I'm having to walk away from it a little bit because it's overwhelming. Especially where you're going up and actually you're like me. You're not sitting on your ass. You woke up and you're like, I'm going to go see this. I got to go see it. I got to go touch it with my hand and see it with my eyes. The eyes to see, the ears to hear. You got to go out and do it. So you can go on live and say, look, I'm not just someone in the basement talking some bullshit. I'm out in the country. He's like telling you.
Literally, you're out.
That's why I was like, I'm happy you're on here because you're out doing the journey. You're out doing the journey. Plus, you're a martial artist. I was a martial artist. Eric was a martial artist. My dad put us in martial arts because he had raised 3 boys by himself, and we all fought 24/7. So he put us with a Sifu and locked the door. Says they're yours. And Sifu's like, you guys want to keep fighting? All 3 of us are doing push-ups. So, like yourself, we had to learn enlightenment that way too. And now that discipline is helping you go out and journey and see these things with your eyes. So when you talk about it, I'll listen because you're there. I hear people talk about it sitting in the garage. I'm like, I hear what you're saying, but you're not out getting dirty. I'll listen to the people out getting dirty a little bit, out seeing the stuff.
Yeah.
But, so
I'm happy you're here. To be honest, I've been obsessed about Mandela effect since my discovery. I've been on about it almost daily for more than a year, and I just tried to sponge up any information from anybody I can go. I just spread myself out and just talk to as many people as possible, listen to as many people as possible, and get everybody's perspective on it. Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with culture because I share American and Western culture because I grew up in America, and the fact that English is pretty much my first language, although I speak Korean fluently and I know a few other languages a little bit, but English is my main language. And I feel like this Mandela effect, like when we communicate to each other about like Star Wars changes, you would have to have seen the Star Wars movie. Yes. You would have to trust your memory about the Star Wars movie, right? And then you have to kind of meet up with other people who share the same memory as you. Yep. And then so this is very important for us to connect in a way, because if we didn't have internet, if we didn't have any way for us to connect, we would be very isolated, right?
We'd be
Everybody
screwed.
would feel like, man, I'm fucking crazy, and I'm just gonna keep it to myself, and I'm not gonna fucking say a word to anyone.
Yeah, you'd be crazy.
Well, if you haven't seen a lot of Star Wars, people, you can always watch my little documentary of George Lucas I just shot out last night, which you made an awesome comment. I pinned your comment. I loved it.
That was really good. I like that.
That's great. I love the show, and you did it very well in an entertaining way. And we need to kind of package it and entertain it.
There's a lot of you said earlier. There's a lot of YouTube channels with the Mandela Effect shows. There's a lot. There's some serious ones. I watched Brian's over the weekend where Brian knows how to talk. He's like he goes after them. I was listening to him like how people try to put him on a show and he'll shut them down like they're trying to do evidence and all that. There's shows for everything. There's shows like that. I always want to be a fun kind of a show, not necessarily I'm going to show you Monopoly, Chick-fil-A. No, I like communication more. Kind of a funner way. I wanted guests to learn them more. So if you're coming to the show to learn a lot, you're not going to get that here. But if you're coming here just to do fart jokes and have fun and talk in the community, that's what this show is about. That's what we want to have fun. We want to have fun. So those little videos are just fun videos I like to do. And they're not easy to do because for me to get the voice of God, I got to call my brother on Facebook on the phone, put it next to the speaker, and he can't see me act. He has to listen to what I say and jump in. So I appreciate his hard work playing George God on that episode yesterday. Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Maybe one day when I do another video, I'll invite you to do a voiceover.
We're gonna make a movie. We'll make our own movie.
We are gonna be making a movie. When you come down, I already said that. Remember our last show, we said that when you come back down to America, because you have to, because your visa.
Yeah,
we're gonna make an hour-and-a-half movie because we did make an 8-minute short movie that's on my channel called The Real Ghost Hunters. So if you haven't seen that, you might want to check it out. It's a fun little movie that we made where the co-host here got possessed by a demon doll, a half mermaid and a half dog put together. Yeah,
crazy.
It's a very interesting video. It's a very fun video.
That was fun. It was fun though. It was fun.
That was like I would say that was a good practice video to get ready for the big movie that we're gonna make.
Big movie we're gonna make. I take the piss out of everything. I like to take the piss out of it. I joke about the Mandela Effect. I like to take the piss out of it because you got so many people, and I've done some research, guys. I've got some kind of cool stuff to talk about. It's really interesting. Now, it's an idea. In other words, as a scientist, as you were a scientist, especially a martial artist, same damn thing, by the way. You could put holes in it and debunk it. Because I try to debunk the Mandela Effect, and I still try to do it. Even though, again, let me say this again. I have it. Okay, from aerospace, I know what's going on. I've seen the shifts happen. I see it fucking daily. So I know it's there, but I still try to fucking debunk it. And I'm trying to figure out the other people. I call them like the others, the ghouls, whatever you want to call them, the NPCs, whatever it is, because these are your family and friends. And sometimes you got to, what the fuck? Why can't you get this, man? My brother here, I for 3 years, guys, I was like, the family thought I was crazy. Now, I worked at the Aerospace Museum with airplanes, and I'm watching them change. And I'm coming and I'm telling my family, and they're thinking, these fucking guys lost it. Everyone thinks, the engines, guys, I worked under the engines. I worked inside the wings. I know all the planes, and I'm like, the planes changed again. And everyone's like, oh, here we go. And these people aren't seeing it. I'm like,
he's not lying. He's not. People will come to me people will say, is your brother crazy? I'm like, well, if this is what he sees, how is he crazy? If he's seeing this in his mind, how is it crazy? Maybe you're not listening. And he's right. Most of us live in a fast lifestyle. You know, I was working like 6 a.m. to like 7 o'clock at night. So when Bobby's come over, we made videos in the past that I used to have another channel called Mr. True Thoughts, and YouTube took it down. But we had a lot of fun videos because we used to break it down and go more into it. of course, YouTube didn't like it and they took it down for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah, I mean,
it's
YouTube is
that
a
time to
centralized
listen.
system. Yeah, YouTube is a centralized system, and they're going after all the truth channels.
Yeah.
Political truth channels, flat Earth truth channels,
Oh,
Mandela
especially
effect
flat Earth.
channels. So,
Yeah.
you know, we'll see how long all this lasts, but for sure, like they must use some kind of AI to monitor everything.
Yes, they
because
do.
I don't think they can hire, you know,
No, it's an
people to,
algorithm.
monitor
It's an algorithm. I've been testing it. That's what I've been doing. I've been
It was
testing
so weird because his channel was a lot more
Risque.
lot more spicier than what I was doing in the past.
I've
I got
deliberately
taken
done
down.
that. Everyone was like, don't go to Robert
Sorry,
Bush channel,
but
man. You're gonna be fucking lost. You're gonna watch this crazy fucking guy do the crazy shit. But people that are watching me for going on hitting the 5th year now, it's because I'm fucking with the algorithms. I'm just desperately people watch me do shit and like, don't do what he did because that one got cut off. I'm throwing words out there. I'm using words to see what words trigger what fucking thing happens. I'm doing algorithms. I'm literally doing nothing but algorithms and testing it. So my videos might look insane to some people, and some people are looking like they're taking notes, going, okay, he's doing this, this, and this. People that know how I code certain ways of doing it, so people understand what it is. The people that don't know I code, they don't. I'm an insane person. People that know I'm coding are going, okay, this is what he's doing here and here. And so they know how to test the algorithms and how to get there successfully out there without it getting shut down. Because the goal is to shut us down. Now, they don't want people waking up. They don't want people waking up, especially the airlines. I've been running all over the fucking place, running with the airlines. I'm an airline guy, and I'm looking around with the airlines, and there's no fuel in them fucking wings, you know? So there's no fuel in them wings, and they're charging people $1,000 a ticket for fuel. I'm telling you right now, there's no fuel in them wings. I worked in the wing.
Yeah.
And I've been telling people
this in the wing, yeah, for sure.
There's no fuel in the wings.
Pressurized air.
Pressurized, and I worked at the Aerospace Museum, so I know what's in the wings. I tell people, look, this is what it is. Boeing just showed up. I got to open the wings. So I open up the wing, and each wire has a tag number specific to the schematics. Each wire has a separate number. So you're going through each wire has its own purpose. It's just like working in a car, anything electrical. But at the same time, there's no tanks. You understand? There's wires, mass thousands of wires, but there's no tanks. There's fuel lines to get it started. And I'm telling people, and they're going, and I went to the airport, even I have to keep quiet because I go to the airport and I'm like, seriously, am I paying for fuel in the wings? Well, yes. Yeah. Can I see how much fuel is in this plane? If you ask for that, they're going to fucking look at you funny, and they're going to might have security come around. It's tied and locked down. And when you go, I went around the airports, and I'm like going through the airports, traveling like yourself, trying to get into the fucking where the fuel areas are. Man, shut down. And when them guys come out and do the fuel, there's nobody around. They're parking vehicles in front. They're parking other things around, so you can't really see them what they're doing. It's on purpose. It's contrived.
You're right.
So it's telling me there is a them. There is a them. And them is in on it. And I'm figuring out, well, what are they getting out of it? They're getting something out of it. And I also figured out, because people watch my earlier videos, it's because some people have access to their Social Security number. They have access to their Federal Reserve accounts. Because I've done it. I paid my house off and all my bills and all my medical stuff. All my student loans, I paid it off with my Social Security number. So people that are privy to that account are given a little, don't understand. I keep telling people this, they're just laughing at me. I said, I've done it. Yeah. I'm not just saying it. I did it. I made videos. Your Social Security number is your money supply line.
In all capital letters. Of you, right? It's not you as all caps.
Nope.
Whatever your name is, that is of you, and you are traded on the stock market, right?
You are traded on the stock market. You are a slave. You are 100% a slave. You are traded on the stock, and if you scream too much, say too much, you go to prison. And then prison, they take your Social Security number and they use it. They'll let's say it'll cost the state $1 million for you to shit, shower, and shave in their fucking prison, Hanoi fucking Hilton.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost, and they're going to take it from your account. Now, you're going to pay to stay in prison from your money. That's why the biggest industry, one of the biggest industries in the United States of America is owned by the Clintons, is the prison industry. We have more prisons in the United States than the entire fucking back of this turtle. Yeah. So you are a slave.
What's that?
I said you are a slave. Like exactly what you said. You're all caps. You are a slave.
Yeah.
I proved it. I proved it by pulling the number out. I pulled it by pulling money out. My own money under my own Social Security number. And I'm telling people, don't take my word for it. You got to do it yourself. You take yourself.
I'm going to have to email you and ask you how you did it because I'll tell you. Same thing.
I'll tell you right here. And send me a private email. I can tell you how to do it. And I'm going to tell you right here. It's real basic. Take your Social Security card. Okay, you have the front with your numbers. Turn it around to the back. In the lower right-hand corner, you're going to see a set of numbers. Little set of numbers. Maybe a little set of numbers. Ignore those numbers. There's a letter in front of those, an actual letter. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That A, B, or C is the Federal Reserve letter that owns you, that owns your Social Security number. In my case, I'm just going to say C, Charlie. So mine has a C, a big old capital C. So I went on the computer, typed in who is C. Oh, C is the New York Federal Reserve. Let's see New York Federal Reserve. Here is the routing number for this Federal Reserve in New York. My Social Security number is the bank account number, like on a checkbook. And the routing is that.
Yes, okay.
Again, your Social Security number is your bank number. The routing number is the Federal Reserve that has your Social Security number. It has its own routing number. So you just take and put your number like a check. You put like a blank check, put your fucking Social Security number down, put your routing number down. You have said check with you on it. You walk in. One lady said when I was talking about it, the government stopped it. Now, again, you're going to have a hard time because the government stopped it. But this lady went into a check cashing place with her own printed out checks. She got her own program to print out her own checks. Legal program to print out her own checks, like her own private business. She's registered her own private business. She was cashing them, and it maxed it at $300 per check. So it was hitting all the check cashings. And she had thousands of dollars of her own, using her own Social Security number. Unless a bank accepts it. Now, I went Wells Fargo. Somewhere along the line, God was on my side because some lady in there or some man in there fucked up and allowed me to have access to my account. They added the Federal Reserve account to my banking account, checking account. And my account number was my Social Security number. And I was using it to pay off my house. I paid off my bills. I paid off my student loans. Everything was clearing. I paid off my water for a lifetime at my old house. All of a sudden, the banks stepped up. The banking system, which is the Federal Reserve, and it is not American. It is not American banking system. It comes out of Britain.
No, it's not.
Britain.
It's private bank, Federal Reserve.
Correct. Britain owns it. The Queen. Anyway, Britain owns it. So I'm Robin Hood, and Robert Wood, that is. Robert Wood taking from Britain. Fuck Britain. Well, I'm in here now. I gotta be careful. And I was taking my own money out. Screw that. I did not go to jail. I was going to prison. Am I in prison? No. I paid things off. Now, of course, they can deny it now. They were denying it. No longer, we can't accept this because the banking system says we're no longer allowed to accept anything you're doing. It has to come from a third party now. That's how the system flows.
Well, what I heard is once people do that, what you're talking about, because like I said, there's a lot of people who've done that.
Crashes the system.
Once they get approved for something, in the background, they'll shut it off.
They shut it off.
So it's like it actually. What he's saying, it works. I know people who've done it.
Yes,
but after one or two tries, the bank sees it and they turn it off.
They turn it off.
They know what you're doing, so it's not something that works every time. They know what you're doing.
It's not forever.
No, it's not forever. Just throwing that out there so people don't think that.
No,
I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to quit my job. No, don't quit your job. Don't do that because you do it once. They know it. The government's that quick. They know what you're doing and they shut it off.
Right.
But it does work. It does work.
Now remember, I've done this now. I've made videos on this, and I lost my house because of it. Let me stress this to the people out there. Understand that I've lost my house because of what I did. I paid it off 3 times in full, legal-like. I get a lawyer from Wells Fargo, then Wells Fargo says, how did you know to do this, and who taught you, and who allowed you to do this to our banking system? I said, who gives a fuck? It's legal, and it's done. It's my house. They said, we don't care about that. We have lawyers that say it's not. If you want to go to court, we're going to cost this money for court. I don't have any money for it. All this shit, even though it was legal, I did it. They don't care. They don't care. Yeah. They said you could fight it in court. I've talked to private lawyer. Yeah, you could fight this in court. It's going to cost $8. That's how they catch you. You are not going to win against those motherfuckers. Like Yeshua, the Bible, he kicks in on the Sabbath, kicks in all the fucking banking system shit. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I did the same thing and won. But I lost. Yeah. And I tell people now, this is what it is. This is how false and fake the system and money doesn't exist. That's what I wanted to show you. Go out and do it yourself, test it, but you're going to fail. But at least if you got a taste of it, you see it work one time with one bill, you'll know that it's real. I just tell people on something small, do a phone bill. Do something small so you know that it's real. And if one thing goes through for you, then you at least know it's real. Stop at that point, because after that, you're going to get all these checks back, or you're going to get all these bills coming back to you.
Yes.
Pay all the back pays, all the back bills. Don't go too far. Like, again, we're learning enlightenment. This is about learning only.
Yeah.
We're searching for enlightenment. This is part of the enlightenment thing. So you could try it.
Absolutely.
Find a minute bill, test it yourself, see what you can do, see how far it works, how long it works, and then save your ass and back out and make sure you paid it whatever way you got to pay it in their fake cash. Get it paid off normally, like the way they want you to pay it. Don't be in debt from it. Well, but just know that the system is out there.
Thank you for that information. I think it's an important thing for people to, because we are commodities. We are the livestock.
Yes.
It's a private institution, neither federal nor.
Yes.
My father is an
and it's a funny.
That's a kind of economics a little bit, and but I design for economics.
Exactly. And what I did was I did it only because I wanted to feel what it feels like to be a slave. I felt it. I felt it that you are nothing to our system. We're going to take everything back. But I felt it, and at least I knew it was real. I knew I was a slave. Well, you could say it. We could all sit here and say we're slaves and till the cows come home. It don't mean shit. Unless you do what I did, you get to feel yourself be a slave. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a fucking slave. I couldn't win. Yeah, I'm a slave. That's a wall. That's a mountain you can't climb. Yeah, and knowing it, G.I. Joe, knowing half the battle. So exactly that. It's a good feeling. So I tell you how to do it. So you could, on your own, find your little bill and just play with it. That way you can get the feeling that I got. You can slow down your bill and say, motherfucker, I am a slave. I know it now. There's no fucking lies. There's no conspiracy behind it. I am a goddamn slave on a piece of paper, and that's all I am. That's all we are. The whole damn planet is this way.
I remember a story about in the Roman times. In the Roman times, a third of the population were slaves, and in a meeting with the senates, they have so many slaves. We cannot tell the difference between the slaves and the regular citizens. And one of the guys suggested, "Hey, let's put a band around their arm, and we will know. We can identify them." But a wiser senate said, "Realize how many slaves there are. Actually, they will rise up and kill us."
Oh,
so we have, and then a slave, will pretend to be a citizen if they're not labeled. But if everybody is labeled a slave, then they can overthrow the system. We have to acknowledge the fact that we are a slave first.
Yes. And that's why I give everyone a little science experiment, just a baby one. Do it to feel it. Feel it. Feel yourself a slave. It's the humiliation of it. I sat there and had this long talk with the lawyer after I won. I didn't lose. I paid my house off. It cleared the bank accounts. My bills cleared. Everything cleared. My water, I never did get a bill back saying I had to. They accepted $25,000, and that was the end of it. They didn't give a fuck. Fucking government told them no. They said, screw that. We keeping the money. They kept the money. They kept the $25,000.
Read this quote from the Truth Seeker 69. I know what you mean. In 2008, the economy crashed, and we lost everything. Even had to sell my wedding ring set.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's... to hear that, 69. That's horrific shit.
That's horrible. And there is no such thing as crashing.
It's like work, right? You're just a number. You're a slave. You're a slave to your workplace. You're a slave to the government.
There is no crashing. They will crash it on purpose to recheck everything. It's like your computer's having a glitch. Too many people are having too much of a good time. What do? You reboot your computer. That's what you do. That's how you reset the computer. You turn it off, turn it on. It's the same thing. When I say literally,
well, they literally call it a reset.
They call it a reset. They turn off the computer, reset the whole fucking money system, turn it back on. Now, there was a revolution going on with the. I don't know anything about fucking e-coins. I'm not going to sit here and promote them. However, they figured it out that money is a faith-based system. So if you could switch over to a new faith-based dollar, universal, that you could literally move away from the fucking current system and move it to a new system. But then again, you're jumping out of a mud fucking hole into a bunch of boiling water. It's the same thing.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, like the current system with the Federal Reserve, right? Like what they have, they're basically creating numbers out of nothing, and they're giving it to the U.S. government at interest. And so the interest rate fluctuates, right? And then when the banks get the money, they charge people at a higher interest, and that's how they profit, right?
Yes. It keeps the cycle.
We have to use our house or car or whatever valuables that we have as collateral. Right?
Yeah, you don't own anything.
One thing that is kind of interesting about the e-money or Bitcoin and any kind of cryptocurrency system is it's not hackable. It hasn't been hacked yet. It's like a $700 billion just for Bitcoin alone.
Yeah.
It was over $1 trillion at one point. And, and the blockchain kind of allows it to be monitored, where every time a Bitcoin is created, right? Every time it's created, it has its serial number, you can say, right? It's blockchain number. So just you can track which addresses it goes to. And if you can match the identity of the person with the address, then you got him by the balls, right? Pretty much. But it's just a test phase, right? It's a test phase, and it's actually going to be implemented in the future. I have no doubt about it, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, it's now. That's what it is.
It's always better to be ahead of the curve.
Well, I like what Brian says. Basically, we get fucked every which way, no lube.
Correct.
That's about right. That's about right. And when it crashes, the rich people buy all the houses at a low price, and when the economy goes bigger, they sell it for double the profit.
Well, here's some more information. Now, I was researching. Now, do it yourself. I tell people to do things themselves as scientists. Do it yourself. I was researching the Federal Reserves. Now, this is the fun. Here's a Mandela effect. You guys want to call it Mandela effect? Mm-hmm. There, all of a sudden, was an explosion of Federal Reserves, plural. There was a few of them, and then it kept growing, and then I kept up with them, and all of a sudden there was, oh my God, how many Federal Reserve systems exploded within the last 4 years is unbelievable. Pages and pages and pages just opened up. And they're opening up, people, on these Mandela effect islands that keep popping up. So some of these islands that popped up out of nowhere now have a Federal Reserve on them. And they're considered a sovereign country. And they're considered tax-free, if you know what I'm saying. Obama himself, Hussein Obama, which himself was an implant. He was a created person.
Yep.
You know that. So he was on the
and Michael Obama as well.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yes. Old Michael. Yes, old junk, old tackle there, He was on one of them islands with the Federal Reserve. He was putting money in one of the islands. These elites are actually waiting for the crash to happen. They're putting all their fucking whatever they have in these fucking islands. They're buying up what's his Bruce Johnson or Bruce something. I can't remember his name. He's another billionaire buying up these fucking islands. Oh, what's his name? He just hung himself. He didn't hang himself. Also owned an island, Pedo Island. He owns a string of islands. Those are just a distraction. To
Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, so rather than this is the thing. Now people got to fucking wake the fuck up. If you know about it, it ain't true. Epstein's Pedo Island. So here, you and I are going to have probably a 2-hour conversation about that sick pedophile on Pedo Island. When in fact, it's not the Pedo Islands you're supposed to be talking about. It's the islands with the new Federal Reserves that are popping up. You understand? They're moving money off the offshore fucking islands. So while these assholes are screaming Pedo Island, the other ones are going, they're just, don't worry about that. They're doing Pedo Island. We're going to be moving money onto the islands. They won't even worry about money. Money's no concept to them. They're too busy about Epstein with his bullshit fake-ass island, with his fake-ass building that was painted to look like it's painted. It's not a real shrine building on his island where he did all these sexual endeavors. No, it's a painted fucking box on an island. It's paint. And all these things that are going on these islands that you're supposed to be focusing on, which is the money. Follow the fucking money. No, they're distracting you with Pizzagate. They're distracting you with this. This person is now doing this. This person was found with a young minor. No. In England, a 16-year-old girl, unfortunately, is an adult, and they can have sex with a 90-year-old. It's legal. So when you see Epstein standing around with a 17-year-old in America or whatever, it's not illegal in other countries. So Americans are so fixated on what's illegal. This is disgusting. This is this. No, they're doing that so you can't follow the money. The money is where it's at.
Yeah.
And these islands are popping up all over the place.
Right?
Yeah. So tell people out there, here's go out and look for the Federal Reserve systems. Look it up yourself. Look at all of the Federal Reserves and match them with the islands. Do it yourself. Look at the list. Oh my God, you want to find a new pedo? You want to find a new fucking Mandela Effect island? Look at the Federal Reserve, and then what island is this? Go to your map. I've never seen this island before. Mark it on your map. Go to the Federal Reserve. Look for the country and island. Go to your map. I've never heard of this island. Circle it on your map. Circle it on your map. Even some of the islands aren't even on Google Earth. They're not. You could sit there for hours and circle all new islands just off the Federal Reserve paper sheet. So you guys want to learn where the Federal Reserves are or the new islands are, use that.
Truth Seeker wrote, "Where is the money after 2013? Check your cash. You won't find any dates after 2013."
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Nothing after 2013. Yeah, no dollars after 2000. Nothing's being printed. 2013, they stopped printing money. They stopped printing money.
So, but they're still adding money electronically, I imagine.
Electronically,
right? But they're not actually making cash anymore. I know they've been wanting to get away from cash for a long time because cash is hard to trace.
Yes. Well, there's no more cash because it used to be back in Sagittarius Arm, where you want to call that place we came from. Every dollar is a promissory note for gold. Gold. Right. Every dollar was backed by a piece of gold. The gold is gone. Where is the gold-backed dollar?
Fort Knox it's got no gold in there.
There's no gold in the fucking Fort Knox.
Yeah. Probably the aliens took it.
Well, I don't even know where the gold is. The gold is gone. The gold is gone. China has it, I think. China has all the gold. Well, who has the gold?
Well, even China, they have these tungsten gold, where actually it's tungsten and it's lined with gold. So, there's agencies where they are official places where they make 1 kilogram bars that should be shipped around the world and stuff. And a lot of them are fake. I've been following gold for a long time, though, too. Gold, silver, all this kind of stuff.
Where's the gold?
We don't know where the fuck the gold is, actually. We have no idea. Fort Knox does not have any gold. Nope. And, with Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1935, where we got off, the government bought gold at $20. So for 100 years, $20 was the value of gold. So there was hardly no inflation. at all during that time. Soon after, the government made it illegal for anybody to own these coins, right? They bought a lot of gold from people, and then the price of gold went from $20 to $35.50.
Yeah.
So if you kept your gold, you would have made 60-70% on it already.
A lot of money.
But if you didn't keep your gold, then you would have lost money on it. So this is how they rigged the game. You can say
they rigged it.
I know where the money is. Brian, he's a leprechaun.
Where the fuck is the gold? Yeah. Isn't he Irish? Isn't he sitting on a pot of gold somewhere with a? I think if Brian was here, he would talk a lot about the rainbow. I don't know why the rainbow represents him a lot. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure if he's with us now, he'd be under the rainbow with a big pot of gold. All the gold that's missing. I think it was 1861 is when they moved away from the gold. They moved away from gold. Now I remember back on Sagittarius.
Officially, actually, I think it was 1975 with Nixon.
Okay.
Yeah. Like then we completely got out of the gold reserve, because after World War II, just prior to the end of the World War II, United States was able to get 70 countries to sign a treaty that says that they will use U.S. dollars as kind of like the international money. Okay. So majority of the money in the world is in the U.S. dollar. So that happened in 1944. Okay. Yeah. And what happened after that is that U.S. was able to bring in gold from Germany and everybody else into America. So they were able to harness, and then they were, but then while they were doing that, they're inflating the value of the dollar. So, dollar from 1930 to now is very different, right? Something that costs 10 cents, that's you $10 now. Right, that's inflation.
Yes.
And it is because it's kind of like a boiling of, because if you boil too quickly, about. Same with people, right? People already have of hyperinflation. So and the job of the central bank is to not go. They want slow inflation. Because Weimar Republic during the time in World War I and World War II, when Germany was actually, what happened to them is that every hour the workers were paid. There are stories about this. Every hour were paid. They would go to the gate and they would give their money. Who would go to the store and pay for food. To a restaurant during Weimar Republic time, you for the food before you were served. You order it. Because by the time you finish eating, the price have gone up. That's hyperinflation. And that's crazy. 50% loss of money within month. $1 would go to 50 cents, and then 50 cents would go to 25 cents, and then 25 cents go to 12.5 cents. That will be the beginning of a hyperinflation. And we've seen a lot of hyperinflations that have occurred throughout humanity. A growth, and they pop it, and then very few have the privy of knowing when and how it's going to happen, while everybody go on a bank run and get stuck outside the bank and not get their money.
So wait a minute,
and it still works.
You are your father's son, man. You are your father's son. What are you talking about? You are good at economics.
I know. I learned a lot just from him.
What are you talking about? Your dad, you were just like your father, man. Good for you. You're like your father's son.
I appreciate that. I would love to relate to my father. I just want to mention that I was adopted from Korea to America when I was 10 years old.
Oh, boy. Okay. I got you.
Hey, is this person taking a shot at us, or is this kind of a joke? Nice. Now you guys are having online chat parties all day long.
What? I don't know. Online chat parties.
I don't know. First time on the show.
I guess. I don't know. How's the party going, guys? We've been here all day. I'm a little tired. You guys have been here all day.
Party it up. Woo.
Woo. Let's just fucking breathe the house down with this one. We've been partying all day. That's hilarious.
Just a lot of people know that usually this show, I don't usually go past 2 hours. Usually I keep the show on around an hour or 2 hours. Yeah. Just because I feel like if I try to go 5 to 7 hours, it loses its steam.
Yeah. That's too much.
I don't like to go that long. I know some shows I've seen that went 7 hours,
Yeah.
He's got to be a hell of a talker because I don't have enough ammo for that.
No. We take it right to the meat and potatoes.
It's a little bit too much.
Take it to the meat and potatoes. Well, let me talk to you guys about. I wanted to bring up this one subject. I did some research about, and this again, you can debunk this. Let's change the subject a little bit, even though finances are the best fucking subject ever. The Mandela effect. I found out some stuff about the Mandela effect, and it's
trans.
What's this? What? Oh, who cares? Is it leprechauns or trans?
Oh, that's our little buddy, our little hairy unknown.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, he's a good guy. If he's 13, he can be on, but other than that, he can't be on.
Yeah.
But okay, so the Mandela effect. I figured out some stuff. We'll ruin this whole fucking thing with the name. The name Mandela effect is technically owned by the United States government in theory. Now, get this.
Okay.
It turns out that back in, and I remember, I'm going to talk about personal stuff. I saw his funeral in I'm going to give it a guess. I was around 1989. Everyone's like, oh, it was the 90s. No, I was 1989. I was going to college, and my dad and I sat there and watched Mandela, the funeral, whatever it was. Now, it was in the prison. It was a small newscast, and there was not much hoopla on it. He had been in prison for 20 years. And the dude died in prison of something. I was consumption. It was something, I don't know, whatever it was they made up. He died in prison. So people that say they saw him die in prison in 89-ish are correct. And then in 1990, he miraculously walked out of jail. And so people say, oh my God, I've had a vision of him dead. I swear to God, I saw him in the, and then people, they find each other. Did you not see him? Yes, I did too. This other new age person says, I saw him too. We must have some magical whatevers. We saw something, must be a shift in reality to see him die and walk out. Now, here's where the weird shit comes in. This is the weird stuff. You've seen this in the BBC news. You saw this on the American news. In white European news is where you saw him, his funeral. In Africa, you're going to have a hard time finding that fucking press that he died. Now, here's the thing. Let's back this up. Let's go back to a whole new reality. Again, debunk this. Go back to a whole new reality. Let's go put it like this. Did he actually die? So here we go. Back in 89, around before that, the United States government, the governments, the Five Eyes, the bees now have 5 eyes, by the way. Bees have about 5 eyes now, and also 5 eyes is what we would call the intelligence system. All overlaps. So the 5 eyes come up to Mandela and said, "Hey, dude, we're going to fake your death. You're going to have a death that's going to be out there for all the white people to see because they're stupid, and then we're going to go ahead and have them all talk about your death, and then next year we're going to have you walk out like you're alive. They're all going to go, oh, what's this weird thing? I could have sworn I saw him dead," and they're going to create their own fucking cult after it. This is how the intelligence department get in front of an avalanche. They knew this was coming. It was pre-planned. Let's get in front of it. Let's be in charge of it. The best way to be in charge of a revolution is to be the ones on the ground floor before it happens and the guys that set up the rules for the revolution. That you are, in fact, inside the revolution as generals or whatever have you, and the leaders of the revolution, how, in fact, you are the bad guys. So they got into there. He never died. There was no press in Africa. Let me say this again. No press in Africa that he died. Okay, so he wasn't broadcasted dead in Africa, only in white people land. So white people, the New Agers, we could band together because we all have something in common. We all saw him die. No, he didn't really die. They walk him out in 1990, knowing that people saw the fake one back a year before to start the fucking lies going. And we're going to give this a name. Verona Broom, whatever. How appropriate is the name Broom? It associates itself with witchery. All these people with these names, like Anthony Weiner, showed his wiener on, if those that know Anthony Weiner is the guy, the name.
Right.
Things are made so easy for the smart people. Exactly. His Hillary's wife. Yeah, exactly. It's there for you guys to see
Hillary's,
and create your own thing.
Main secretary.
Yes, which is technically her wife. That's her wife. People don't know that's her wife. Oh, it's not her wife on paper, but it's her number one, which we all know what that number one is. Ride the magic carpet, right?
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
so
it's well known.
So well, yeah. So the idea of the Mandela effect. Now the name is now owned by the intelligence department, and you got Verona Broom writing it out with her whole page. She's a perfect person. She reminds me of, and I got a Julia Childs. Julia Childs. People don't know who. I'm gonna bounce all over the place. Julia Childs is a cook in England. She was on the BBC. Julia Childs was on for years. Look up your research. Julia Childs was also an MI6 agent who worked for the intelligence department who passed on codes when she did her cooking show. That's why this woman was a flat-out drunk, drinking wine, burning fucking dishes. Nothing came out correct. It was a joke because she was coding. She was only coding. That's her job. Verona Broom is exactly a Julia Child. She did the same thing. She's in front of the Mandela effect. So, going back, walking forward. Now, I talked to these New Agers who all swear together they saw Nelson Mandela die. That's why we call it the Nelson Mandela effect. Well, in fact, he didn't die. It was the intelligence department. Now, CERN holds up a sign that says Mandela. The key effect.
I think it said Nelson. I think it says Nelson and Bond 1, not
Mandela. Yeah. They get you
on
the first Bond with Mandela. Deliberately, these guys are brilliant tacticians to get you spinning. To get you spinning. Yeah. Now, do we see changes 110%? We see it. Is it the Mandela effect? I don't use that effect. I don't use that. I call it a it's a recheck. The shit blew up to me in fucking, I think it's 2009. Everyone says, how do I know so much about certain things? Because I have a memory problem. I have it's an amnesia kind of a thing. When I woke up in 2016, I went to my Facebook and I left myself messages all the way up that I do not remember writing. And it says right on there, I showed Eric, but I showed you, Eric, my messages, LHC Collider I put in there. And then Pop Goes the World. It was attached to a video of Men Without Hats, Pop Goes the World, the song. If you guys see that song, it's a whole message by itself. I gave it to myself. Then I wrote down what my favorite desert island favorites would be when the world goes. I'm giving myself the answers. And then in 2009, the LHC Collider was turned on. It was officially turned on in 2008. It was turned on in 2009, and the fucking flip was switched in 2009. After 2009, my life took a fucking weird-ass spin. Nothing made sense after that. I got divorced for no weird reason. It was like, why are we different? All of a sudden, the weirdest things were happening after 2009. Don't make no sense. Now, I woke up in 2016 with the abrupt one, which was the big boom. But from there forward, things were not correct all the way up. So somewhere along the dimensional lines, somebody flipped the switch. And I know how the time travel thing works. I know how the magnets. I know you freeze the magnet. You've got the frozen hydrogen particle. It separates from the electron. They shoot it through with the high-powered magnets that are frozen beyond the temperature of space. It's a -27 something. And how it works, the whole thing. Now, whatever you do in a positive, you have to have you have the anti side. Every positive has an anti side. So what's done in one is done in the other. So somewhere down the line, antimatter was blown the fuck up. Things blew the fuck up. Things recheck itself. Again, God don't have hands, people do. So did he use people to fucking blow shit up? Probably so. To reset the whole fucking clock? Absolutely. Absolutely, the whole clock was reset. So from 2009 forward, we have all these weird people claiming from them forward they saw weird, subtle things. 2016 was the big hit. All of a sudden, people are waking up in mass numbers. Now I'm seeing. I worked at the Museum of Flight. I saw the swastika fucking thing change. I saw the universe the way it used to be, like a potato pancake from the outside. We're here on the outside of the potato pancake. Now it looks like a saw with arms. No, man. I work at exhibits. I would have put this up. The planes changed. Everything started to change. Now we're in a whole new place. And then all of a sudden CERN pops up, and I've never heard of it. I work in the science community, never heard of CERN. But in this timeline, in this timeline, wrote a lot of stuff about CERN that I have never heard of. It's from me that I wrote. What the fuck is this? All the time travel stuff, all the ways that this works, the quirks, the perks, the whatever circs, that's real. The Mandela effect was the bunch of intelligence guys getting in front of the snowball and coining the name to be made fun of. And now you've got this bitch, this Fiona Broom, who's taking the brunt of the whole leadership. Then I see these New Agers talking about, I remember when they died. And so they're joining together. They don't have the effect. They don't see changes. They just remember him dying, which was a setup thing to begin with. Again, now, shoot holes in it. This is a hypothetical. But this is how my gut's telling me. The homeboy never died. He was set up to create the name for it. The Mandela effect, M.E. They've got in front of the snowball, and now they're in charge of it. And now I know we got shills that are involved in it. We got a lot of government officials are involved because I was ex-military. I know a lot of people. I've got fucking little signals from people that I know they're still in the service, giving me a little bit of snips of information, going, wow. The government knows it. There's military knows it. They have their own little branch. They probably call them Space Force. Space Force is probably not space. Space Force is probably all the people in the military active that have this effect. So he got all the people that have the effect because I saw the tests. A friend of mine in the service sent me, guys, 100% the tests that these military guys take. And one of them is like women's suffrage. Women's suffrage. What year did women's suffrage come out? Because it's changed. What year did this come out? And this year, it was all a Mandela. We'll use the word again. We'll use it. The Mandela effect test that the military guys have to take. If they pass the test at a high number and through the interview, they go to another agency in the government. I'm assuming, I'm not 100%, that's probably the Space Force, they call it. Separate department of the military now with people with the effect. So the government's aware of this, but they got to keep the status quo going too. They got to keep the fake shit going. Like, we're going to bomb Iran again. What are we, back in the 70s? It's the same bullshit. They're recycling the same shit. Again, you can also see 13 here, 13 there for anything in the newspaper. If something happened in anything in the military, there's going to be an add-up number of 13. If somebody's shot, there's going to be 8 wounded, 5 dead, 13. It's always going to give you the answer if it's bullshit or not. So always be on top of this. The whole goddamn government, everything and all the governments are all bullshit. Everybody's in on a big-ass lie.
So basically you're saying it's like a setup like the Apollo 11 playing golf on the moon?
Yes. I worked at the Museum of Flight. I've never heard of Apollos. There was no Apollos in my time. I worked in the exhibits department, and we did not have. That means handling all the pictures, all the NASA CGI pictures of the universe. I put up, took care of. All of a sudden, I have a whole new set of CGI pictures at NASA. All the artist pictures have changed. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is made up bullshit. I was tearing apart the Apollo area in 2017 and 18. That's when I got let go. Tearing it all apart to rebuild a whole new Apollo section that never existed. Now, when I say didn't exist, that means me at the Museum of Flight sitting in a meeting every Wednesday, whatever. We're all sitting around having a discussion on the next exhibits we're going to be working on. We all get the papers going, what is this? There's people that are the curator at the museum. The curator is going, what is this? What Apollo? What is it? He throws the papers on the floor and walks out, frustrated. I said, I don't know. Look at me, dude. I don't know if I know fucking Apollo what? We need to work on the Apollo 11. What Apollo 11? What Apollo anything? We were forced to keep working on all these fucking fake ass shit. We even took down the Operation Paperclip section with the Nazis. We removed it all. We go, why? That's the number one. This is the heart of the fucking rocketry program was Operation Paperclip. These Nazis, regardless how you like them, these were von Braun is the man. Von Braun was the man. We removed von Braun stuff. We removed his Why are we doing anything with Von Braun? He's the king of fucking rocketry. We're removing all his shit. All of a sudden, we're moving an American that didn't exist. It didn't happen. So I had to contribute to the lie. The whole section of Museum of Flight where the rocketries are all bullshit. Bullshit. They even went out and purchased old rocket parts and we're putting them in. I go, when did this go up? And my other buddy's like, I don't remember this ever going up. I don't either. Do you remember seeing this in a fucking movie? I don't remember this ever going up in any shows. So the Freemasons that work there, we all part of the same system with NASA. We all had to keep it going. Keep the lie going. Eventually, I guess Eric remembers, like 2017, I'm calling my brother from an ambulance. I'm like spitting up blood. I'm having a heart attack. They said I had 2 ambulances show up to pick me up. I got blood coming out of my mouth. And I was like, remember I called you from the ambulance or the hospital. I said, hey, dude, I'm on my way to the hospital. They're telling me I'm fucking dying of a heart attack. Somebody slipped me a Mickey's what it was. And so I'm sitting at the hospital in the emergency room, dude, with fucking shit all over me. They're saying they're getting paddles right. I'm saying, put the paddles down. I'm fine. Don't you touch me with no paddles. So it was about 40 minutes later, my heart went back to normal. Everything went back to normal. I pulled the shit off. I was pissed off. I walked out of the emergency room. They're trying to stop me. I said, fuck this. I'm going back to work. I went back to work. They said, you can't come back here. Why? Because you just had a heart attack. I said, I don't care. What the fuck happened to me? They said, you got to go. They tell me to go. They gave me my walk-in paper. Said, you can't come back unless we get a confirmed thing from a doctor saying that you're 100% fit for work. I said, you motherfuckers did something to me, man. Somebody here did something to me, man. That's why I was screaming. Who the fuck slipped me a Mickey? Try to kill me.
And then the veterans, the VA hospital didn't want to assign it because they want you to do like months of classes and see if you're insane and all that kind of stuff. So you couldn't even get a paper signed to get back to work. So it's like you're trying to make a living, your house, and you had no money coming in.
I had no money.
Paper. I remember all that. It's like,
yeah, I couldn't go back. So like yourself, I sold my house. I was able to sell it before they took it, took the money, and I've been on an enlightenment tour. I've been all over Europe. I've been touring Europe, like yourself, up in the mountains, finding yourself, doing the same thing. I'm using martial arts as my catalyst, but I'm doing the same thing, trying to get enlightenment. Like yourself, you're telling people about things. Let them know what's bullshit. You're pretty good at economics, man. I think it's your pet peeve right there. That's your magic. Or not pet peeve, but your magic. That's your. You know a lot about it.
I think we all have a wide range of interests, so it's difficult for me to just focus on one thing.
Yeah. That's good though. I mean,
but it's fascinating what you're saying. This story about, I don't know, like, it's just near-death experience and somebody trying to kill you. You're on track if somebody's trying to kill you.
Yeah, I had
you're hitting close to a nerve.
Yeah, they ain't gonna stop me, man. I was like, this ain't real. This ain't fucking real. No one's gonna stop me. I am gonna keep fucking talking. They're not gonna stop me. Yeah. They gave me my final check, which came out to a numerical value of 11,000 something. It was like, it comes out to the 11111s. How appropriate, guys. How so perfect it comes out to the one thing mathematically. And then they even gave me a check. When I walked in the true story, I walked in the bank and I went to the machine and I put it in and it says, put in what you want. Put in what I want. You can punch in whatever amount you want. What? I'm not joking. So I went in the bank and I was like, I put it in that machine. And you guys told me to put it. You guys told me to put it in the machine, and it says punch in what you want. Like, what is the value of the check to you? Like, what? It literally. I'm not saying this to debunk the whole thing, but maybe I just didn't understand the machine. It was new to me, but it felt like I could put in whatever number I want. I could just punch in whatever number I want, walk away.
Wow.
And there's like three other people that I work. Yeah. And there's 3 other people where I worked out. They're on a permanent vacation. I see them on Instagram, and they woke up with the effect. I know they had the effect too. And these people are on a permanent vacation. They're always hunting or camping, and they're always camping and in different countries. I'm like, what the fuck? These guys worked at my workplace, and they're never at work anymore. They're always camping or touring Europe or going somewhere. So they got paid off. They got paid off. They shut their fucking mouth. I'm not going to be that person.
But maybe it was faith because of what happened to you. You are now in the UK, part of the country you never really been before. Now you get to discover all new things. Maybe it was meant for that. Because now you're in Ireland, you've been to Scotland, you got to see things that if you would have stayed here with a job, you would have never gone nowhere.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it changed it like in a day. Yeah, that's why a lot of people are like that. I have met people with the effect that had it not been for the effect, they wouldn't be in the position they were in. It's as if, and I'm going to use it because I'm an atheist and proud of it, and I was a pagan and still am, but now I'm not because there's a God. I've had the conversation. There's a God and something intelligent. I don't give a call it a lampshade, call it a fucking whatever you want, call it the great spaghetti monster in the sky. But whatever it is, it's smart and it's maneuvering things for people to be in positions that they're going to be in now, even if it feels bad. If it feels bad presently and you're broke, well, there's a reason for you to be broke. If I hadn't been broke, I wouldn't have fucking get desperate and I wouldn't have fucking fucked with the bank. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to test the fucking system.
I want to read this to you guys.
Yeah.
You said the word God, and I got a email back from a guy from Liverpool Christian Villains because they were talking about it's a religion group. And I'm asking them about, does somebody have permission to create Bible changes? Like, who owns the rights to the Bible when it gets published? Does the Pope change it? I'm trying to not debunk, but trying to figure out, did the Bible change, or does somebody actually behind the scenes could actually change it? But this is what this guy wrote. I don't hear your thoughts on it. This guy wrote to me, you can easily tell that the Bible remains unchanged since the time of apostles. There are manuscripts of much of the New Testament which go back to shortly before 200 AD, and which show that there are no significant alterations to it since this time. There are manuscripts of most of the Old Testaments in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Yeah. These date back to before the time of Jesus. Now, so he's basically saying the Bible can't change. But if religion's true, I'm not saying it's true or not. I know you believe in God. If God is true, it's like, why do these people are saying that the Bible can't change? But if God's all powerful, like he's supposed to be, he can change anytime he wants.
Anytime he wants.
Like stuff like that. What do you think of that? I'm just curious.
That's yours, man. Go for it.
Oh, well,
that's a hard one. That's a hard one.
I subscribe to the idea that whatever that is happening, God allows it to happen. Like I think,
there it is. Thank you.
If something was not in agreement with God, he would not. We wouldn't even know it. It wouldn't exist. So I think everything that's happening, God allows it to happen. And the Bible in itself is not necessarily. Bible does not equal God to me.
Yes, correct.
It's homogenation or like kind of put together. There's this Council of Nicaea where people agreed. So there were books that were like Book of Enoch, for example, a very easy one that was never included into the New Testament, right? And for sure the Bible has had the most changes out of anything, most of the ME changes, Mandela effect changes than anything else. So,
do you think they're afraid?
I'm not very versed in the Bible, but I know the Bible enough to know that it was a lion and the lamb and there were no matrix, even though the Greek translation for womb is matrix. So it's kind of interesting that way. And wine bottles don't make sense. I mean, there's 1,000 different examples.
Here's kind of cool. What's that? Here's kind of cool. I don't know when, Thursday or Friday, I actually have a pastor named David Cordia replied, "Thank you for the invitation. I want to come on the show and talk about the Bible." So we're setting up a date and time where I'm actually having somebody from the religious side, because I like to hear both sides.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
I never want to say, religion people, you're wrong. You're wrong. Mandela effect people, you're wrong. I love to hear both sides. So I actually finally got I got a guy who accepted my invitation to come on the show. So I'm gonna try to set up maybe a Thursday or Friday just to hear their point of view, because it's weird that I always feel that people are afraid of changes. I think mostly is like when I did a George Lucas video a long time ago. Remember I called the hospital, and they said that everybody has had somewhat of a Mandela effect change, but people are afraid of change. People are afraid of not understanding. It's kind of like the science experiment. It's like this: if you take 5 people in a room, sit them in a chair, you talk for an hour, and then you take the person and move them to another chair, they don't feel comfortable anymore. You think people are just afraid of change, that they just don't want it to really happen because they're afraid of what's going to be happening in the future, where you don't know what's real and what's not?
It's scary like that. I think so. It's absolutely scary like that. I mean, imagine all the Buddhists in the world. All of a sudden, they look over and Buddha's got dreadlocks. What would that have? What would that be like? I mean, I've been over Asia. I love it. I love Buddha. I love I love all Buddha philosophy. I would imagine going up to the Buddha and you want to do a prayer and you look over and he's got these long ass dreadlocks. I wouldn't know what to do. Do I pray? What am I praying to now? I'd be freaked out a little bit. If you saw what you worshipped your entire life, or something that of God, or the essence of the one of God, and all of a sudden the essence of the one of God has got this completely different look. Now I remember Buddha did not smile. He had kind of a stern face with a kind of a stern. All of a sudden he's got a big ass smile, like he's laughing. I'm like, why is Buddha laughing? I had a Buddha in my backyard. I got a Buddha here. There are many
different types of Buddha. Like a big version of the Buddha. He's very fat and very, and he's smiling. He's all about go into more like a Tibetan type Buddha. And it's just like
they're stoic looking.
So there are different types of sleep state, Buddha, and from different. Actually, Buddha, the word in itself is a title. It's not Buddha. There were thousands of Buddhas before Buddha, thousands of Buddhas after Buddha. The main Buddha is Siddhartha Gautama. He was born in Nepal and in Lumbini, and then he's the one who really, you can say, he's considered an avatar of Vishnu, God, and he came to kind of disrupt the caste system, because
the status quo,
in India was corrupt a little bit, because the Brahmins, everyone, because there are four caste system, and if you add the untouchables, that's 5, and people kind of abused, like if you come from a Brahmin background, you're highly respected, and then you use that status for your own advantage, and people kind of got lost their way. They got lost in spirituality, and Buddha had to come and kind of shake everybody up. And once he did come, things were going all right for a long time. Like a lot of people. And when we quote unquote worship Buddha, we're not worshiping a statue or an image. It's the ideal behind it. That's the main thing. Just like Jesus. We don't worship necessarily the image or the icon of Jesus. Is what he represented as a person.
Correct.
That we, respect. I think that's the important thing.
So I call myself. I'm not. Are you Christian? No. I'm actually a pagan. Where you worship No, I don't worship the devil. I worship. There's an idea behind it. Just because there's something for my brain to accept, to see, it puts the image in my head that I need to see. Now I'm not staring at the idol going, this is the thing that's going to save me. I'm closing my eyes. I'm just sitting. It's a spot to meditate. It's a comfortable spot to meditate with the idea. And I sit with the idea, and the image is in my head that I sit there with. I love the temples. Oh my God. I'm all over Japan. I've been all over. I love the temples. Oh my God. I followed washed my hands. I did the whole thing. I washed myself. And then before I went to the temples, to do the same exact thing how you describe it. People, they want to call you names for that. I'm like, no. It's not what you think. It's not. No, no. Christians, I had a lot of problems with Christians.
We are very much social beings, and we like to belong to a group in general, and it makes people feel safe, and it makes them feel like they can belong in a community. And I'm sure you have experience, and I certainly have. People who claim themselves to be Christian, Buddhist, or Muslim, or whatever. Not everybody is the same. Like, there are people who claim themselves to be Christian, and they're very shitty people. There are a lot of people who claim themselves to be a Buddhist, and they're very shitty too. Very few percentage of the people, I find it, who are not hypocritical. I personally do not enjoy labels of any kind. I don't belong to any kind of denomination. I don't really believe in this thing. Everybody should kind of go on their own path, but it's good to borrow ideas and to understand something on your own, right? And to not get involved too much with this group thinking, you know?
I'm not a hive mind guy. No, I'll listen to a teacher. There'll be a teacher of the past. Buddha's a teacher of the past. Yeshua was a teacher of the past. The Prophet Muhammad was a teacher of the past. These are all teachers from the past, and you listen to what they're teaching, and then you incorporate it into your own life to better yourself. Now, if I went up to, there was an idol that's got freaking eat the baby, and I'm not. No, you could pick your teacher, and wholeheartedly you know what's good and bad. I mean, it's built into you like a fucking machine. You got it into programming. You know you're not going to eat a baby's leg. You're not going to kill someone over I'm going to kill this sacrifice for this bring the God about. No, man. You know what makes you feel good. And if it makes you feel good, it makes you feel spiritual, makes you feel a little bit closer to your creator, you're doing fine. You ain't killing nobody to get there. You don't need that much effort. It's something. If I give somebody a gift and I feel good for it, and they feel good for it, then I know that God's happy that I just did that. You know.
You mean I can't sacrifice this?
No, you can't sacrifice that. No. That's dark magic. Go ahead.
We know that magic exists, right?
Oh,
There real magic that exists, and Mandela effect is kind of magical in itself, but like people who can invoke magic, and there are white witches, gray witches, and black, right? And people like to have power, but who are doing this kind of nefarious have been born into a system themselves. And they've been mistreated, and that's how they perpetuate the system, you know. And this control has been around much longer than anybody. It goes back hundreds, if not thousands of years. And I don't really think it will ever completely disappear. For people to be aware and not deny the truth, which is satanic blood sacrifices that it has been going on for a long time. Okay. As eating babies and sacrificing babies. This is not something to be. No. It's actually happening. And during like Super Bowl stadium nearby, you know, there's more human trafficking going on during that time than any other time. For people to gather and you know, I was just watching this video. I also follow these guys, and they were talking about these white where it's completely soundproof. Like one white van, you can scream as loud as you want, and nobody's gonna hear. They got all the equipment to catch you and take you away and haul you away and stuff, right? It's just horrific, the stuff that's going on, and we have to acknowledge the fact that this is real. This is part of the reality that we're living in.
Well, I know a lot about that. I know the reason why I know a lot about that is because I did it in the military. My job is human trafficking and special operations. I went out for that's my job. A lot of it was prostitution. The majority of it. I can tell people stories, and they freak the fuck out when I tell them the truth of the whole thing. Number one, the majority of human traffickers are not males; they're females. Number one. Number two, the majority of human people being trafficked are themselves in on it. That's their entire life. They were born that way. They make money. They're coming out of the small villages. They've got nothing. When a girl, and the CIA sees it the same way. Unfortunately, it sucks this way. But when a female menstruates, she becomes a woman, and you're not allowed to save these people. So once they're, no matter their age, there's no number. Once they menstruate, they have become adults. They have now working in the field, and unless they're being trafficked and controlled, then you could go in and save them and remove them from the situation. But the majority of time, people don't understand. They don't believe me. They're volunteering for it for money. So you can't do anything. You can't, because I have shut down so many places, and know what happens to me? The traffickers themselves, the females and males in there are mad at me because I just took their job away. And so a lot of the times in the military, we're like, we can't do anything because you shut it down, they're going to open it up right next door. If I burn down a building, they're going to open it up next door. Not the people traffickers, but the people that were working in the trafficking because they're making money. And it blows your mind because you're in a third world place, so you don't think that way. So when you have the youth, they're being trafficked, they're being put into a situation they can't possibly get out of. We get them out. And then you get them out, you got to move them to other countries, and you're going to have the other countries take them in. And even that's a problem because then you're moving them into another country and they're put right back in the same position again. I'm like, it's an endless, horrible problem. Go ahead.
You know why? No, you're true about that because, in Seattle, they used to arrest hookers, I guess you could say. They used to arrest the hookers, but then they learned that arresting the hookers is not fixing the problem. It's the people behind the scene. So now, Seattle concentrated, instead of arresting the hookers, they're arresting the people that's behind the money behind it all, the pimps, people. And a lot of people used to think pimps are always men, but a lot of the stuff that has been happening are being controlled by women themselves too, that at one time they were trapped and they do it. So it's a big issue. And it's like, concentrating on the individual who's selling themselves. Like you said, some of these people actually do volunteer.
You can't get them out.
You got to stop the people who are behind the scenes, like the true mafias of it.
I mean, supply is always going to follow demand. As long as there's demand, there's always going to be a supply, right? And you know that prostitution is the oldest job.
The oldest original job.
It used to be a temple job. Right? It's just it's like drugs. It's like you can never get rid of all of it. It's just not possible, and the only thing that's really going to help anybody about anything is to try to help them to be aware about, everything is connected, right? Everything is connected. And actually we vote with our money more than anything else, right? Whatever you put your money into, you perpetuate that thing. Yeah. Right. So, I'm a vegetarian, for example. I don't eat meat. I'm not trying to promote vegetarianism, but I do it because I understand the implication of my actions, right? Yeah. And more aware of how you impact the world, right? The less kind of a footprint that you're going to be making. Yeah. And if enough people do it, it's kind of like the 100 monkey syndrome, right? Where when enough monkeys get to understand it, it just kind of exponentially more and more people, monkeys will follow on this ideal, right? This is the reason why they want to attack us right from the beginning, because once we get the ball rolling, it becomes very difficult to stop.
Oh, yeah. We're taking away their appetizers. The elite have appetizers. No bullshit aside, the people with the haves have appetizers. Appetizers include all those things that are illegal, and they're going to have them. I've been in situations where you can't do anything because the haves will always have, and they're going to continue to have. And you go in and bust your ass. And I got to the point where I just got depressed. I can't do anything. I was sitting in these meetings going, I've just broke up this fucking thing, and I can't. They're opened again. They're like, there's nothing you can do. I was like, but you go in there and it's like the victims opened it back up. They opened it up, and they're telling you you're not going to win. You can get the ones you can get out that were actually wanting to get out. You save them. But the rest of them got a taste of the sin. They're eating fucking good food. So these prostitutes or whatever have you, especially we were in Singapore in our time back in Sagittarius. Sorry, I don't know about this place. Singapore was the Beverly Hills of the Orient, and they had the best hospitals. And that's where they had all the youth do transitioning. They were giving them the female hormones. So they were purchasing the young males, Billy boys, buckalocks, whatever you want to call them, lady boys. They're purchasing these young males by the whatever numbers of them. They're on the streets. They take them, they lock them up, they take them down, they get them the injections, they get them all set up. Now they become female before puberty. So they are women now. They've lived their life as women, and they have this is their culture now. So you go in and I bust up Billy Boy bars, Billy Boy bars, and you're like, what are you going to do? You can't do anything because these people can't go back. This is their life. They're women. They're transitioned now. They went past puberty. They've got suicide. You've got most of them, if at that point. After you've taken them out, they come in suicide. They've got nothing left. They've got jobs in Japan working at bars where they're buy me drinky bars where they don't have to perform any sexuals, whatever. They could just buy a drink with the man and sit down. They're not being harmed. As sad as it may sound, this is kind of where you have to go with them. This is where their culture is. This is where they are. As long as they're not abusing their body, if you give them a position of a job, as sick as it may sound, one of the ideas was to open up these bars for these males to females from youth, to give them a buy me drink. Just you're having conversations, you're not doing anything with them, and it gives them they get tips from the conversations. It's a harmless thing for them to do, and they're making a living. And it's like, oh, that's disgusting. No, it's not disgusting because they have suicide after that. They got nothing. They've got nothing. This is their entire life. It's all they've ever known. So what do you do with them was always the problem overseas. When you shut down these areas, now you've got streets filled with the Billy boys. Where do they go? They start looking for pimps. They immediately start looking for pimps. And they reopen up new places. You're like, oh, my God, here we go. Back to square one. I rented a place where I've met the same person 3 times. Oh, you're over here now. Know them by first name basis. Like, okay, we're going to shut you down. Good luck finding your next one. I almost feel bad. You know,
find a way back.
Yeah, because we were focused on the trafficking. It was they had these things where they bought these packages. These were sex vacation packages where they tour these mostly adult white males with high society jobs, lawyers, teachers, American teachers, judges. These guys were all in these little sex tourisms areas. We had to shut them all down. And they get a hand slap. They get their visas revoked, a little stamp on them. You can't travel for a while. They don't go to jail. They go back home to their classrooms and teach kids. After that, it's just, there's a point where you're almost wanting the damn Messiah to show up and just say, stop doing this. You want a Buddha to show up. You want Buddha to show back up. Please, Buddha, please come back. Please come back to this country and tell them to stop this. You need something Messiah to show up at some point because it's just, man won't stop craving things.
We're starting to find out that a lot of these actors and actresses in Hollywood, they're transitioned people, actually. And then, all these supermodels who are, Victoria's Secret models, they're not probably women. They're probably males who've been transitioned into women. You can't have a body like that. Because, after we pass, if some archaeologist dug us up, you can know whether a body type is a male or female based on their bone structure.
Yeah, exactly. Anthropology.
And this is, Michael Obama, for example, is another good example. How,
we all know that one. Well, remember, Eric and I are experts.
But it's not an isolated case. There are many who are presented as women because actually women, and then women turn into bulimic and anorexic just to try to become like men,
Yes.
but it will be an impossibility because they don't have the bone structure for it.
No,
Even sports athletes have been transitioned from male to female, like Serena Williams or her sister. They've both been transitioned. Actually, they are males, you know, and they're this system, this kind of matrix, you can say, is very vast, and it's very, you know, the music industry also. A lot of witches there, a lot of covens, you know, and you are on a casting couch, and you would literally have to sign
it's the
your
same
soul
thing.
away if you want to be a part of that.
Yeah, we know. Eric, ask Eric. You know, you heard us talk about our older brother. Our older brother now was transitioning into a woman. So Eric and I both lived with that. Yep. It was ironic. I come out of the service. My brother was gay before, but then he became he started transitioning. I come out of the service. I was working with that kind of stuff.
Doing the woman's hormone shots.
Women hormone shots. We were both like, "Oh God!" I kept trying to talk him out of it, man. You don't understand, because your body, your bones are going to become brittle. It's going to remove certain things from your body. You're not designed for this. And he was a regular dude. Now we're talking a regular dude, cowboy hat, you know, Brokeback Mountain kind of a homo, but working on cars. A tough dude, martial artist. Dude, martial artist, man. The guy was in sparring class. He got kicked out because he was so fucking tough.
He was too aggressive.
Yeah, and too aggressive. But then he transitioned, and I'm like, well, come on, man. Don't do it. And it killed him. It made him insane in the end. Made him insane in the end.
He couldn't find he didn't find the right community that accepted him, and he you could say he slowly was committing suicide in a slow way until finally his heart gave out. So hey guys, well, first of all, I want to say
we're finding out a lot of these people are regretting the decision to transition, and there's a lot of push now with little kids, you know, like
I know
there's an agenda for sure. They want gay marriages, and the next thing they say, oh no, you know, having sex with children is a preference now. It's something you know, my lifestyle. And it's just to justify all the negative actions that these elites are having or doing already, and they're trying to promote it to the regular people and say, oh, okay, this should be norm. This should be what everybody wants. But then once people do it, because you do get popularity, you know, oh, look how brave you are to have transition, like
so
Jenner,
brave.
you know, Bruce Jenner,
Bruce Jenner,
Caitlyn Jenner, and then like, wow, look, you know how popular she is. I mean, people are lost, and then once they do, they can't go back. Actually, once you once you transition, you can't go back to your original.
We go back to that same conversation I had about what do you do with them then? That's what we had overseas. We had that problem that we could do.
Well, guys, I'm gonna actually wrap this up a little bit right now.
Please.
I gotta take my daughter to a friend's house, but I just want to say, what a show! I mean, we tackled so many different
subjects, man.
That is a one of a kind. It was awesome.
You're welcome back anytime, dude. Anytime.
You coming on the show, and this is what I love having guests on, because we could go anywhere. It's not technically about one thing, and I like this better than just talking about the Mandela, not the Mandela effect, the Monopoly, the Chick-fil-A, the same old stuff that you hear on most channels. I love this talk, learning your culture and all that. And
you're welcome back. I really appreciate you guys.
Oh, you're awesome.
Thank you very much for letting me on the show, and I learned a lot. May I just ask you your name?
Yeah, you got the last. You got the last talk.
Oh, these are prescription. These are prescription. These are medical. I've got eye problems.
What are the names? How should I refer you?
I'm Robert Wood.
Is your name Eric?
My name is Eric.
Robert.
Okay.
We're brothers.
Eric? I know that.
Robert Wood. Just Robert Wood. Yeah.
Oh, Robert. Okay, Robert. Robert.
Robert, yeah.
Thank you very much for letting me on the show.
People call me Rob.
And you know, to me, everything is related. It's not related, right? And everything connects. It's good to kind of different things, because you know, I'm into history. I'm into all kinds of stuff, and I know we can learn a lot. And being here and to listen to you guys.
Yeah,
man.
No,
And I would love to come back.
I'm glad.
And speak about.
You're welcome. You know, I don't know how often you've been watching our shows. Almost every single show that we do, I always put a link and allow people to come on. I never not say you can't come on. So I let different people. Now we are going to have another show. I can't tell you it's going to be Thursday or Friday because I'm getting that pastor to come on. So I'm trying to make it comfortable for him. You know what I mean? Make it comfortable. Say, you want Friday? That's fine. But once I know, I'll put a thumbnail the day before so everybody knows that. And that's going to be a fun show because I get to hear a view from another side that's not really Medell Effect at all.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be good.
So, all right, guys.
It's going to be interesting for sure.
So, all right. Thank you for coming on, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Later.
Yeah,
Later.
bye.